Okay, fifth graders, today we're going to start one of my favorite fifth grade projects, and we're going to start by drawing a pumpkin. And this pumpkin might be called a still life. A still life is when you look at something and draw from real life. So you have a choice to make right off the bat. Do you want your pumpkin going landscape style or portrait style? I think I'm going to go landscape. I want a wide pumpkin. And a pumpkin is a form, which means it's three-dimensional. So when I start by drawing a pumpkin, I always draw really light until I get it right. And I'm thinking about that stem, so I'm going to leave a little bit of room at the top. And I'm going to start just by drawing an oval. Okay, almost down to the bottom of my paper, but you have a lot of choices to make within this pumpkin. So I'm just going to give you a few ideas, and then you can take it from there. Now, when I'm drawing something from a still life or from real life, what I'm doing is I'm going to draw really lightly. For you to see that on the screen is going to be a challenge, so I'm just going to draw a little bit heavier than I normally would. Now, a stem of a pumpkin comes down into the middle, so we're going to see that a little bit, and a stem is also a form. It's kind of almost like a cube, right? So I draw a square, and from that square, I know that my stem is going to come up. Okay, so starting at that corner, and a cube at the top, come down to the corner. Okay, so it looks like it is 3D, and those lines that I had to help me draw, I can just erase. Now, pumpkins are super organic, so if I want to make something a little bit softer, I can. My next step is those lobes coming off from the pumpkin, those kind of ridges that are there, and those kind of come off from the stem, and that's really what's going to make it look 3D. So I have one that's coming to the side, following that curve, another one coming this side, following the other curve. So half of my lines are curving this way, like a C. The other half are curving the other way, kind of like another C. And they're even going to kind of come off that back side there. All right? And then I can make those lobes even more pronounced by making them a little bit darker when I start to add color, baby color. Okay, there's one at the back. Now, if this is a challenge for you, you're having a hard time, some things that you could do would maybe to be ask a neighbor, raise a hand to ask me, okay? Or just do your best. There's lots of different looking pumpkins out there. If you've got something that's flat on one side, think of all the crazy pumpkins you've seen in real life, okay? There are some pretty imperfect pumpkins out there, okay? So I'm going to draw a little one. Draw my square at the top, and a curve, okay? On the lobes. And I can erase any lines that are behind, because I have some things overlapping. All right, and I've got a pumpkin or two. The next thing I need to think about is the ground, okay? Now my pumpkins are resting on the ground, but behind them there's going to be kind of this horizon line, this line where the sky meets the ground, okay? I might even add some grass lines down here, but eventually what I'm going to do once I have everything planned out is I'm going to add glue over my pencil lines. So I'm also going to be thinking about my sky. Do I want big fluffy clouds? Do I want it to look like a windy day? And add some wavy lines. That is up to you. Here is another opportunity for artist choice. With my glue, I'm going to go over each of these pumpkin lines, but now that I have my front set up, okay, I'm going to flip it over, and on the back write my name, Miss G, and my class code. And I did this last so that I had the back side. If I made a really big mistake, I can flip it over. All right, with my glue lines, I'm going over those pencil lines with glue. And if it's not exactly correct, that's all right. It's kind of loose. Try really hard to make your glue a line, not a big glob, so I have to pay attention to how hard I'm squeezing. And make sure my glue bottle keeps moving across the line. And what I'm doing is just tracing. Next time when we come back, we are going to be adding some color, baby color. So we need to have this glue here to kind of protect the area that we want to stay white, or make those lines kind of pop and stand out, okay? When all of my pencil lines are glued, it is really important that today I carry my drawing flat like a lunch tray and put it in the red drying rack. If you're carrying it a little bit to the side, your glue is going to pour all over. Okay. All right, remember, if you're having a hard time, Ask a neighbor, raise a quiet hand. I can help you. Together we can make these awesome. This is one of my favorite projects.